Welcome, deep divers. Today we're jumping into something absolutely vital, though maybe a bit under the radar for most people. Pharmacovigilance.
It really is. It's basically the ongoing watchfulness, the detective work, making sure medicines stay safe after they're out on the market.
Exactly. It's happening all the time behind the scenes, and it really affects every single one of us. It's fundamental for public health.
Couldn't agree more.
And we've got some really fresh material to dig into today. There's a brand new EU implementing regulation that's EU 22-51466, just published July 22nd, 2025. Very current.
Yeah, hot off the press. And we're also looking at a related Q&A from the EMA, the European Medicines Agency.
So our mission today, let's unpack these updates. We're going to focus on two main things. First, how the systems for drug safety get audited.
Right, the oversight part.
And second, how those signals, those potential warnings about adverse reactions are actually spotted and then managed.
And it's important to stress this isn't just, shuffling paperwork.
Not at all. Think about it. Better, faster audits could flag a potential system weakness before a drug issue becomes widespread.
And having the drug companies directly monitor safety databases means they can act quicker, not wait for someone else to tell them.
It's like upgrading the early warning system for all medicines.
Yeah.
It directly speeds up how potential problems are found and dealt with. Ultimately, it's about keeping us all safer.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's dive right in. One of the really big shifts seems to be around how pharmacovigilance systems are audited in the EU. This new regulation makes a significant change, right?
It really does. What's interesting is this new regulation, 22-51466, it amends an older one from 2012, Regulation 5200-2012. And the key change in auditing is moving away from just a general risk-based approach.
Which was more like audit when you think there might be a risk.
Sort of, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's shifting to a risk-based interval. It's much more defined.
A risk-based interval.
Yeah, it brings more structure, more predictability to when these quality system audits need to happen. It's definitely pushing towards being more proactive.
So what does that mean in practice? Is this interval make things clearer for companies, or is it adding pressure?
Well, it certainly makes planning clearer. Audits of PV vendors, that's pharmacovigilance vendors, listed in the PSMF.
The Pharmacovigilance System Master File, that core safety document?
Exactly. Those audits are now explicitly required at set intervals. We're talking every 5 years with a maximum gap of 7 years allowed.
Okay, so a clear 5 to 7 year window. That's a very firm timeline they have to stick to.
It is. It simplifies scheduling, yes, but it also definitely raises the bar for maintaining continuous compliance. And you have to remember how common subcontracting is here.
Right, lots of drug companies, the MAHs, marketing authorization holders, delegate PV tasks.
They do. So the new regulation demands really clear documentation of who's doing what, the responsibilities, and crucially, the audit and inspection arrangements have to be spelled out in those subcontracts.
That sounds like a big step for accountability, making sure things don't get lost when tasks are outsourced.
Precisely. It's about ensuring accountability isn't diluted no matter how complex the outsourcing chain gets.
And here's a detail I found really striking. It seems incredibly powerful.
What's that?
Even if the subcontract doesn't mention it, third parties doing TV work must agree to be audited by the MAH or inspected by the authorities.
That's right. It's a non-negotiable requirement now.
Wow. So there's no loophole like, oh, it wasn't in my contract. It just applies.
Exactly. It strengthens accountability massively. And the whole point of these audits is clear. Make sure the quality system works, that it complies, and that it's actually effective.
And who does the auditing?
Importantly, the auditors must be impartial. They can't have been directly involved in the processes they're auditing. You need that objective viewpoint.
Makes sense. Keeps it credible.
And it's not just the MAHs doing audits. The national authorities and the EMA, they also conduct their own risk-based audits of quality systems regularly, following a common methodology.
So multiple layers of checks.
Yes, it provides that extra layer of oversight across the whole system. Everyone's watching.
Okay, so we've got these much stricter, more regular audits, making sure the systems are robust. How does that then translate into better detection of safety signals? How does this improved oversight help catch potential problems sooner for patients?
That's the crucial link. A well-audited, effective system is naturally better equipped to handle incoming safety data and spot potential issues.
Which brings us neatly to the Eudravigilance database, that huge central EU hub for adverse reaction reports. Big changes there, too, I understand.
Huge changes. It's the signal detection pilot phase in Eudravigilance that started back in February 2018 for some MAHs, looking at a limited list of substances. Well, that's officially over. Terminated.
Okay, pilot phase done. So what happens now?
The immediate impact, and this kicked in just 20 days after the regulation was published in July, is that all MAHs, let me repeat that, all MAHs with products authorized in the EEA.
The European Economic Area.
Yes, they are now mandated. It's not optional. They must monitor the data in Eudravigilance.
Mandated monitoring.
Yeah.
For everyone.
Correct. And they need to use this data as an additional source. It's meant to supplement their other signal detection methods to enhance what they're already finding.
So it's like giving every company another very powerful lens to look through the safety data.
That's a good way to put it. And there's another really significant change related to this.
Go on.
MAHs are now no longer expected to submit validated signals using that standalone notification form to the EMA and national authorities. That specific requirement has been removed.
Really? So they find a signal, but they don't send that specific form anymore. What do they do with it then? Does it just float around?
No, not at all. It actually puts more direct responsibility on them. Signals they detect, whether from Eudravigilance or any other source, now need to be handled according to the MAH's own internal signal management process.
So it goes into their own system first.
Exactly. They need to follow existing guidelines like the Good Pharmacovigilance Practices. GVP Moduling Act specifically deals with signal management. But the initial handling, the assessment, it's now firmly within their internal workflow.
The buck stops with them first then.
You could say that. They are the front line for managing these alerts. And the expectation is clear. They must update their procedures to reflect this.
So their internal rulebooks need rewriting.
Definitely. They need to spell out exactly how they'll monitor Eudravigilance, how they'll integrate that data with other sources, and how often they'll do it proportionate to the product's risk profile.
Makes sense. Tailored monitoring. And there was a specific point in the regulation about what kind of signals in Eudravigilance they should focus on.
Yes, a very practical point. For this mandated monitoring in Eudravigilance, they should only consider signals related to a suspected adverse reaction.
So keeping the focus sharp on potential patient safety issues, not getting lost in other data noise.
Precisely. But while MAHs have this increased direct role, the EMA and the national competent authorities are still very much involved.
They're still watching Eudravigilance too.
Continuously. They monitor the database constantly. And if they validate a signal that needs more analysis, they have to confirm it quickly within 30 days.
So there's still that central safety net.
Absolutely. And there's another important detail here. Even if a signal isn't confirmed initially by the authorities, it should still get special attention if new signals about the same medicine pop up later. It's about not dismissing things too early, watching for patterns over time, connecting the dots.
Continuous vigilance. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
So how do these evaluated signals then lead to actual changes, like updating warnings for patients?
Right. The crucial output. Signal evaluations have to be presented in the PSURs, the Periodic Safety Update Reports. These are regular, comprehensive safety reviews.
Okay.
And if a signal assessment triggers an action, like needing to update the product information leaflet, that has to go through the established legal channels, like submitting a variation application.
So the findings get formally integrated and communicated.
Yes, it ensures signals lead to concrete, legally sound safety measures. And speaking of integration, transparency is also being pushed, like MAHs having to log their post-authorization safety studies in the electronic register.
That all sounds like it relies heavily on good data handling.
Absolutely. And that's where standardization comes in. The regulation emphasizes using updated standard terminologies like MEDRA.
The Medical Dictionary for Regulatory Activities.
That's the one. Essential for consistency. Plus, various IDMP standards for identifying medicines internationally, and using electronic formats like XEVPRM for exchanging PV info.
So everyone's speaking the same data language.
Essentially, yes. It's vital for making sure data is high quality and interoperable, so signals can be detected effectively across different systems and countries.
Makes sense. We sometimes get questions about specific regions. What about Northern Ireland under these EU rules?
Good question. The guidance is clear. MAHs for products authorized in Northern Ireland should also monitor Eudravigilance if they have products with the same active substance authorized in the EU proper.
So ensuring consistency across the board there too.
Yes, it aims for a harmonized safety approach.
And a really key point for MHs listening, the timing on this is immediate, isn't it?
It is. They're expected to implement these changes for Eudravigilance monitoring and signal handling right away as soon as the regulation entered into force.
Even before the official GVP guidance, Module 9X, gets updated next year.
Correct. The update for GVPIX is planned for Q1 2026, but the expectation is compliance with the regulation now, no waiting.
Okay, that's a clear message. So let's pull this all together. What does this mean for you, the listener? How does all this technical talk about audits and databases actually impact public health?
Well, fundamentally, it means enhanced drug safety. The stricter, regular audits mean the systems designed to protect us are under tighter scrutiny.
Right, making sure the safety net itself is strong.
And the direct responsibility on MAHs to monitor Eudravigilance and manage signals internally means they're more proactively involved. It potentially shortens the time between a potential signal emerging and action being taken.
More eyes on the data, quicker response. That sounds good.
Exactly. Connecting it to the bigger picture, these updates clearly signal a move towards a more robust, more data-driven, and continuously monitored PV system in the EU.
It feels like a tightening of the whole process.
It is. It's about quicker identification and response to safety concerns throughout a medicine's life. It emphasizes transparency, like with the study registers, and accountability all the way down the supply chain, including those subcontractors.
A more holistic approach to safety, really.
Yes, closing gaps, strengthening the net, step by step.
Okay, so key takeaways. We've got the shift to risk-based interval audits with that clear 5 to 7 year time frame for vendors boosting accountability.
Check.
Then the direct mandated responsibility for all MAHs to monitor Eudravigilance and manage signals through their own updated internal processes.
Big shift there, yes.
And underpinning it all, that push for increased transparency and standardization using things like MedDAR-A and IDMP, making the data work better.
Absolutely critical for the whole system to function effectively.
It really shows how pharmacovigilance is constantly evolving, always working to keep us safer, often in ways we don't even see.
It really is a dynamic field.
Thank you for that fantastic deep dive today.
My pleasure.
And thank you all for joining us. We'll be back soon with another deep dive.
No voice unheard, no patient lost in a single word. We stay alert, we do our part. Safety for citizens, close to our heart. It's in our DNA.